thing. That's too high. Yeah, I know. Oh, you can throw a max on when we spin. Yeah, I'm going to throw a max on.
Jeff, I'm going to throw on 3.
We don't have enough room, really.
I'm going to throw on 3.
Well, just try do a couple throws so I can see if you can pick up. That's perfect for you. You gotta put me on TV.
Sorry, Jeff. Just throw that back.
Yeah.
Really what happens is all the good players go to the tournaments, and a lot of them meet at the tournaments. Some of them, remember, people in New York, everybody goes to Central Park.
There's no slick on this at all. Little one spin.
Judging. No, they've been out in California. There was a tournament.
I've been traveling since the first. Since March. I've been traveling since the first week of March for tournaments. Every week on different cities.
Well, a lot of people ask you how you get involved in something like this, but it's something that doesn't really pay off monetarily, which is unusual in the sports world. Why do you feel such dedication to this sport?
Dedication. I wonder if that's what it is. I seem to do nothing but this lately. I've been traveling since the beginning of March, and I suppose that would be dedication. It pays for itself. Basically, I don't put too much money into it, but I don't get any out of it. I find myself breaking even, basically. I think, though, that I'm an exception. I seem to do very well in competition. I don't know if it's any tribute to me or simply that I do well in competition, but the money is definitely hurting.
Well, I was just about to ask you, who's paying for all your traveling if you've been traveling since March? The prize money you make?
Yeah, actually, I've made a small amount of money this year. I say that in the last 3 months I might have made $2,000 playing Frisbee. That's doing shows in different parts of the country as well as competition. I've done very well in competition this year. I'm 6 for 8 first places, so that's exceptional. And that's why I've been able to pay for my traveling so far. The money starts winding down about this time because there are a series of tournaments. The Whammo tournaments, like this is not very much money. We're hoping on qualifying for the World Championships through this tournament, which is where the money is in the Whammo series. Once you get there, you have an opportunity to win a lot more money than the small amounts in the other tournaments.
How old are you?
I'm 21.
So you haven't been doing this for a very long time, have you?
I've been
21
playing,
years old?
I've been playing for about 3 years, since I was about 18.
Is 21 about the normal age? I mean, everybody here seems to be sort of young except for John.
21 would probably be a mean age. Some of us are younger than that. John is older. Erwin is a little older. Joey and Richie are a little older. 21 to 25. No one's much older than 25.
And you say you met all these guys in a bar. Well, you haven't been in a bar for too long if you're just 21.
No, we didn't meet in a bar. That's kind of a joke. You'll notice the Frisbee players are funny in general. We met at Frisbee tournaments. I grew up in a small mining town in western Pennsylvania. I was the best Frisbee player in town. So I said, wow, let's go to a Frisbee tournament. And I met all these other players. I found out that I wasn't very good. That was about 3 years ago. And so after a while, I guess I got a little better.
You moved to California now?
I moved to California at the end of 1978. I lived there for a short time, and I've been traveling and living in New York City as my home base, and traveling ever since then.
It's a long way from a little mining town in western Pennsylvania.
I kind of like to think so. I guess maybe that's why I play. If it wasn't for that, I would be working in a steel mill or a gas station. So instead, I'm playing Frisbee. I might just break even, but I live a very exciting lifestyle, and I have a good time, and it's really helped to get my life together. So maybe it has an advantage in that situation.
I think so. Thank you. Well, now this guy over here has been doing this for about 3 years. How long have you been competing as a Frisbee player?
Well, my first tournament I competed in 1976, and that was 1 year before that. Me and my brother, we went to the same tournament 1 year before that, and we were just blown away by all these Frisbee players, and we couldn't believe what they've done with it. You know, it's turned a simple game of throw and catch into something more. And then we practiced for a year, and we came back to that same tournament, and we beat those guys that blew us away a year ago. And then a couple months later after that, we became world champions. And then from there, we just sort of took it by a year and got into it a little more. And since then, we've won 3 more world championships. And it's become not just a pleasurable time and hobby now. It's become a way of life for myself and brother and a lot of other Frisbee players. We do this for a living, and it's a lot. It's really great when someone can do what they enjoy and make a living out of it.
Now, you still aren't going to ever get rich on this, though. In contemporary sports, greed and money seem to be so prominent. You guys do this more for the love of the sport, obviously, than the money.
Well, that's true at the moment, but I'm sure a lot of people who want to make it a career are envisioning money in the future. You know, we are putting a lot of time into it, and we're sticking it out, and because we're envisioning that money will come into the sport in the future. I mean, after all, we are putting a lot of time into it, and we do deserve a break, and we'd like to see ourselves get something out of it that we deserve.
Now, you don't seem to be typical of the Frisbee players I've seen. I mean, you're a little bit better built. A lot of these other guys seem to be very frail. Why is that? Were you in other sports before Frisbee?
Yeah, I guess you can call me. In high school, I was known as a jock. You know, I played football, and my main sport though was wrestling. I wrestled in college and was a college All-American. But last year is the first time I didn't go back to school, and it's been 2 years now, and all I'm doing is doing Frisbee full time, and no regrets.
Well, now it's interesting because when we were in school, a lot of says, well, Frisbee's for wimps, you know, and you're a jock, so it wasn't really easy, was it, to make that transition?
Well, actually, I don't know if you're familiar with wrestling, but wrestling,
Sure, I wrestled.
and yeah, well, you know how demanding it is, and I cut a lot of weight, and I couldn't eat, and when I play Frisbee, I can eat. You know, I mean, wrestling and football are 2 total combat sports, whereas in freestyling, in the sport of Frisbee, it's totally different. It's on the opposite side of the coin, and again, it's like wrestling. You're expressing yourself. But again, it's the other side. It's very beautiful, and it's a harmony, and that's why I like it.